Hey everyone, it's Ross. Welcome to Season 2, Adventures in the Void Spacecast. This season we're talking about independent and folk science fiction tabletop role-playing games. The following is an actual play of the original Starfaring role-playing game, Classic Traveler, by Mark Miller and Games Designer Workshop. So get your vac suit on, your sidearm ready, and prepare to exit jump space. We've got money to make and worlds to explore, and we hope you'll join us on these adventures. Out here on the Imperial Fringe, it's just us veterans of the Fifth Frontier War keeping the space lanes moving. Free traders like us, still willing to evade the pirates, the terrorists, the zealots, the criminals. They prey on these war-torn ruins of 100 worlds. They call us travelers. We aren't liked, but we're needed. We use our skills we learned in the service to operate starships and earn a buck. We ain't looking for trouble, but it always finds us. When it does, it'll find us ready. As usual, I'm rolling the dice. I got a 2 this time. Father Chris, what happened last time?
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, well, what happened last time, much like we were just discussing, was nothing like we planned. And we'd intended to have a good time in the casino. We sort of did, although I lost far too much. Far too much. And I was drinking also, and so in the morning I'm going to remind myself why I don't do that kind of thing. And in any case, played for a while, had a good time. And hold on a second, Dan, you're not on a reaction video. Keep it down. Please keep it down. Thank you. Sorry, my son's, I just let him get Five Nights at Freddy's 4 for his Switch, so my apology. So we had some enterprising action from a young crew member looking for business. Very commendable. Sadly, he ran into the exact wrong people, and we ended up in a horrible firefight in which more than and we got into a vicious firefight in which several people were wounded nearly to death, and we ended up prevailing. I believe Bellamy had a chance to use his cutlass once again to good effect, and we didn't do too much damage. I think a waitress caught a bottle to the face. I don't know how she's doing, if I remember correctly.
I forgot
but
about that.
I don't know if it was to the face. You just said it hit a waitress. You didn't say where it hit her. So, we probably owe the casino like a few bottles of liquor. I don't know any other damages, but that's about all that happened, really. From a large scale standpoint, we had talked near the end of next time. Let's actually look for some business. But we'll see what happens here with the casino security. Anything else?
All right.
Did I miss anything?
Well, this just brings to mind a few things. First of all, the people that were wounded, your wounded stat, the one that went to 0 should be half of your max. So if it was 8, it is now 4, and it's 3 hours later, and you're conscious again. And without looking, I don't remember how healing works, but it takes time or money, at the very least. And you don't have a lot of either. So it's a tough thing to have half that stat right now.
I have a couple of med kits. Can I use those?
I don't think they do that. I think you have to like go to a hospital, or you have to let it heal over time, if I recall correctly.
Then
yeah.
What do they use the med kits for?
I think it does a couple of things. I think, first of all, that it can... so what happens is there are kind of like 3 categories of what can happen. You can go... 4 maybe. You can be hurt. You could lose some from a stat. You can go unconscious, where then you come back and you have half that stat, or you can be severely wounded. And I think that, so if you're unconscious, you come back in 3 hours. If you're severely wounded, I think if you don't have that med kit, this is me off the top of my head without looking, I think you just die. Like you need medical care. So like someone with a med kit and medical 1, 2, or 3 will be able to save their life and stabilize them. Now that's a create a new character moment. If you become severely wounded, you probably aren't going to be able to adventure. So just a heads up. Pretty brutal. The other thing I wanted to mention was also another stat that was affected is some of you have your endurance has temporarily lowered as you were taking drinks. The day is young. Only about the amount of real time passed that game time passed, and it's actually morning. And this is just one day. So the adventure continues in Startown Liberty. But if you're trying to find out information or schmooze or move about the town, the mechanic is you basically have to drink and party and face the possibility of, unexpected events. That's kind of what happens in Startown Liberty. But, yeah, I just wanted to bring those things up. All right, so here we are at the casino. And the other fun thing is I didn't roll the reaction dice. So let's see what happens. What in the world? Oh, here we go. There's definitely not a crowd here right now, so that's going to go away. In fact, everybody's cleared out. Let's see. Everybody's cleared out. You've got a bunch of Vargr on the ground. I believe the plan was with the unconscious Vargr, you were going to try to apprehend them. That hasn't happened yet. But you were talking about trying to drag them back to your low berths, freeze them. I believe that was the plan. Well, the hotel staff comes out. This, by the way, this gunfight all happened in a matter of moments, right? So it happened real fast. And so the hotel security comes out. Security from the street nearby, they come in too, and they point guns at you. They don't know who's good and who's bad, who started it, who didn't. And Coleman, you see your old acquaintance, Colonel Volt Griswold. And he didn't like you too much. You had a little bit of a Sergeant Bilko thing going on for as long as you could. And Colonel Volt, he knew that you were rotten. Now here he is running the security staff in his retirement at a casino. And you've kind of you're kind of seeing him at a low point. That's not really something that a retired colonel would usually do, especially here in Startown Liberty and in the Spinward Marches. And they keep their guns pointed at you, and Colonel Volt, he looks at you and he says, "Well, if it isn't Coleman again. You're just like a bad smell, Coleman. It's been years, but I can't get away from you. Then you come in my casino and shoot it up. After you tried to steal money."
Hello, Colonel. I see you're in position of leadership still. But
he growls when you say that.
It we didn't start this firefight. Me and my shipmates were drinking and gambling and trying to spend a little bit of time after reaching the system to blow off a little steam. And while trying to drum up our next paying gig, we ran into some Vargar that didn't take too kindly to our actions on Walston, and they proceeded to open fire, and we neutralized all but one, and we rendered some first aid to the few casino employees that got wounded in the crossfire, and we're not the ones that started the trouble in this casino. So,
they keep their weapons pointed at you. The security guards demand that you drop your weapons, and then he walks around the scene of the gunfight.
Let's all calmly lay our weapons on the ground, shall we? Or actually, better reholster them if there's no comment.
Aye, Captain.
I've got a bloody cutlass out, so wipe it on my. And I'm gonna say, listen, we're not the ones who attacked here.
Yeah, he goes over to the Vargar, to their some dead, some unconscious bodies, kicks them around a little bit, crunches through the broken glass, and squats down, looks at one of them. He mutters a word. Who was close to the where the table got knocked over? I mean, well, it would be Bellamy and what was it? Chapman, right?
Yeah, the two of us pushed it up towards them.
I think you could make a. I think you could make an intelligence check, see if you catch the word that he says. He mutters something. Yeah, roll under check.
I rolled way under.
Nice.
4 under 12.
Achieved.
Okay, yeah. He says something in a kind of like a scratchy.
Oh, it has to be under. Can it meet, or does it have to be under?
No, it can meet it. Yeah.
Okay.
He says gosh, like that. It's not an Anglic word. It's something Vargar. But
is it a bad word? It's a rude word.
No, it's clear to you that he knows who these people are.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've
Colonel
seen their
is human, correct?
Yeah, the Colonel's human. Yeah.
You've seen their kind before, then?
Looks up at you and he says, "They don't like to gamble. They just come in and eat. They don't gamble. Causes me a lot of trouble. Look, I tell you what."
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
they gambled today. I mean, this is self-defense for us. It may have been fairly more competent than average, certainly a lot more elaborate and destructive, but it's still self-defense.
All right, so you can see there's well, let me draw it. I can scribble just to kind of illustrate what's going on here. So you got like kind of two areas that you are at, right? And the Vargar had kind of like this place they were fighting. They had a couple of turned over tables, and Chapman and Bellamy brought up a table, right? And then you had books came out in the open, I think, right here, if I recall correctly. And then you got like
I think we were pushing the table that was covering Books' actions.
Right.
Is that?
Well, yeah, no. I recall Books at one point being like, "No, I'm gonna go out in the open."
Oh yeah,
I gotta run the risk of doing that. But I think Marcello and Lamar, you guys got knocked out, right?
Yeah.
You can assume
that's
some
right.
time has passed your back with half that stat that went to 0. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, I think, if I recall correctly, Coleman was staying undercover because you were throwing stuff too, right?
I did initially, but I think towards the end of the combat, I had kind of flanked on the opposite side of the table. I think. I don't remember now.
Okay, no big deal. So just to illustrate kind of what's going on here, I'll plop some stuff down. You got, the former colonel over here. He's over here inspecting this stuff, okay? So, and then Bellamy and Chapman are over here, as well as Books. That's kind of where people are at right now. And then you got, I assume Coleman and probably be helping. Will have helped anyway. Marcello and Lamar. So this is where you are at. Books. What do you do while this is going on?
Let's see. So, while that is going on, how close am I to everyone else?
So
all.
So you're right here. So this is
Okay.
maybe 10 feet away. This is maybe 30 feet away. 40, 50 feet away. I don't know.
Okay. I'll walk over to where Chapman is.
All right.
And for now, I'll just kind of stand there with my arms crossed.
Okay. And then what about Marcello?
Marcello is sort of talking under his breath to Coleman, and he's sort of saying, it doesn't hurt so much if I don't breathe. But as soon as I breathe, it really, like my ribs and my arm, and actually my arm is in a sling, so I have the use of my right arm, but not my left arm. And I am actually kind of incensed.
Yeah.
As I see the security guy come in, and I tell Coleman, I have half a mind. Walk right over there. Tell that gentleman what a terrible job he's done of keeping this place secure. We were just trying to have a good time. Look what happened to us. And then I start walking over.
Hold your breath.
Nice.
Yeah.
I start hobbling over slowly. Toward
Okay, I see a look in Marcello's eye, and I say, "Listen, we need to get my friend to a hospital here. He's just been attacked, nearly killed. It's just only because of swift action we were able to save his life here. I mean, let's."
What do you think, Lamar? You were
Lamar,
also,
Lamar. I'd like to think that his robotic left arm got injured, and he's trying to make repairs to it.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna go try to give Marcello a hand, or a shoulder to lean on or something as he's hobbling up.
Thank you,
Colonel Volt.
Thank you, Captain.
He nods toward the Startown security that came in, and that they can leave, and then he turns towards you all and he says, I tell you what, gather everybody up here, you get them the hell out of this place, don't file any reports, and I don't want to see your face around here again. You're gonna walk away.
I'm gonna walk towards the hospital with Marcello without a word. I'll nod at him.
We're not gonna try and take the Vargar for
raise
ransom?
your hands if you are fully able-bodied right now. I think myself and Lothak would be.
Well, I'm down a few endurance points, but I should be okay.
Yeah, I'm a little hungover, but no injuries.
I'm down 1 endurance, I think, from drinking.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't think I've done anything.
So are we taking these? I think he probably wouldn't.
Is he going to object? I guess
They would appreciate it, I'm
Well,
sure. We'll help them get their off their hands.
You should bring it up to him. You should propose. You should propose to him that we want to take these
guys off your
Vargr
hands.
to our take them off your hands. They'll never know they were here.
Well, maybe that's what we'll say. So, Colonel, would you like us to remove these victims and criminals so that you don't have bodies to file a report about?
Roll under your social stat.
Ooh, let's see. Oh wait, no, actually, let's see. I actually have a better social on this guy. Yeah, 5 under 9. So.
Okay. Yeah, he looks at it and he says, "Fine, get him out of here."
We will take them off your hands, Colonel.
So I did look real quick, Thomas. I think I may be mixing in some other games in my brain, possibly even some second edition stuff. I don't know. But like, it wonderfully tells you basically nothing at all under medical. It doesn't say what it does at all. It basically just said, which I love. I'm not bothered by that in the least bit.
Yeah.
But so this will be my ruling. Well, actually, let me bring up the healing part really fast. Well, off the top of your all's head, does anybody remember without me looking it up?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Well, which part?
How much you heal like per day? Wounds?
Oh, it doesn't say.
Okay. Well, then this
I
is...
mean, at least if it's the combat section, what it says is...
Oh, wait, here it is. Minor wounds require a medical kit and a skill of medical 1 and 30 minutes. Without medical care, recovery requires 3 days. So, so this will allow you to...
So these are just minor wounds? Nobody went down to 0 and 2 stats?
Yeah, nobody's got serious wounds. Now, serious wounds, it says you require a medical facility or an aid station or a sick bay. And then it says skill of medical 3, and that makes sense because in the skill description it says if you're medical 3, you're a doctor.
You're a doctor.
Literally. So,
I'm a doctor then. I have medical 3.
Oh, we missed that part of your backstory. There you go. We got a sawbones. All right.
That's fantastic.
What's your dex by chance as well? Because I think
my dex is 8.
You might be a surgeon.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe it's Mega Traveler that they have that distinction.
Yeah, so this is pretty rad because here's the thing with that medical kit, and if you get somewhere for a little while, you can actually like perform surgery and bring people back from serious wounds.
Nice.
It could take 5 to 30 days, but that saves the crew money.
Nice.
Yeah, it's huge. Wow.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to use my med kit to patch myself and Marcello up. I've got 14 med kits. I loaded up on them, so.
All right. Yeah, you do that. It takes some time, but wow. You're like.
Do you mind if we call you Doc?
Yeah. You have to.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
All right.
That's great.
Doc Ocean. Yeah, for sure.
Doc Ocean.
Changing it now. Doc Ocean. Okay. And you were in the Army?
Yeah, I was in the Merchant Marines.
Oh, Merchant Marines.
Fourth officer.
So you've been a ship's doctor for a long time then.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think I got around to it on my second tour. My first tour, I was like what was it? I was like an electrician in a vac suit too.
Maybe that's like when you first came in, and then but then you kept working toward.
Then the second time around, I went medic 3 and admin 1 on my second time around. So.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, so my next question is then, how the heck do you get these bodies out of here then? I mean, what do you do?
There's 5, right? Because 1 got away. Is that?
Yeah.
Can we ask the management if we can borrow some of their what are those things called that you like deliver stuff into the kitchen with or whatever?
Colonel Volt,
What's it called?
he just
Like a trolley?
Like a trolley or a what's it called? A dolly or something like that. We can
he
Or like a bed sheet.
he
You're gonna
nods
use as a
toward
stretcher.
his lieutenant, and the lieutenant, who's this bald, beefy guy, he was like, "Get out of here! Kidding me?" Then they start coming in, cleaning the place up.
I don't suppose anyone's strong enough to carry one of these bodies by themselves, so we might have to do two people
I
per.
am. I think I am.
I mean, are Vargar they're smaller than humans, right? So
I have a strength of 11.
I think you could do it.
Wow.
I just think carrying 5 unconscious Vargar with bullet wounds down the street bleeding could be could raise some suspicion.
We need to get like a hand truck or something like that. Get some
That's it.
a couple of those. Just hey, where can we get a hand truck?
You wanna hail? You wanna try to find a place that you could just rent some kind of little.
Is this casino
utility
also a
half-truck?
hotel?
Yeah.
They probably have them here.
Oh, you
luggage
wanna
rack?
you wanna go to the concierge and not
wanna
tell them
add-
that you have a bunch of
No, I
unconscious
wanna-
terrorists?
No, I want to tell the security guy that we just made a deal with.
Go to the concierge.
He's got to know. He's the security guy. He knows where all the tunnels are, where they move stuff around and all that, and behind the kitchen and whatever.
Oh yeah.
Here, I'll roll it, but yeah, they just want you out of here. They don't want to try to help you resolve this problem.
All right, so then we patch up their wounds, stop the bleeding, put a coat over the headless one, and just stitch his head back on, and then we just walk him out like it's a weekend at Bernie's.
See if we can hail a cab,
You turn toward Doc Ocean. You're like, you could do that, right, Doc? Like you could sew an alien's head back on. You could do that, right? No big deal.
Accidentally has it like on the wrong angle.
It's the quickest, easiest way. If we don't, we're trying to. They're not. We can't. They want us out of here, right? So let's get out of here.
Carry 2 people to one body. Somebody have the arms, someone have the legs. Don't draw attention to ourselves. Just be quick. I don't know if we have enough manpower. Maybe somebody needs to go back to the ship and grab, I guess, Isabella? I don't know.
Yeah. So you do that. Wait, do you sew the guy's head on?
We can
I
at
think
least.
I think I should attempt and make a roll for it to see how good I do.
Just
Yeah,
a
no, I
staple,
like
at least a
this,
couple
yeah.
of staples,
How long would that take? How long would that take?
I mean, but they got a good point.
the
Like they
far
got to stop the
future.
bleeding and everything.
It's the far
so-
future. He's got a medical kit. It's the far future. He's got to have something that's like a rapid stitching, like you get a wound, like a
Guess if
slash
a
or something.
glue
Yeah.
gun or
A
something.
stapler. A
This is like
stapler.
this is the VHS far future though. They're using like Fortran out here in space 70s. So
Yeah, but that's when it's the TV show version. You break out the foam, the caulk gun, and you tell them it's a special substance that fills in whatever.
yeah. Well, anyways, I agree with you, Thomas. If you could make a skill check roll, your target is 8 to see if it goes well. But we'll see just how well it goes or how badly it goes.
Do I add or subtract anything to my 2d6 since I'm a medic 3?
No, this is basically like you're the only person that could do this. No one else could do what you're about to try to do. And this also includes staunching all the bleeding, making everybody look presentable. Like you're acting almost more like a mortician right now than you are a surgeon to some extent. But there's no one else that can pull this off but you.
Surely one of us, or 1 or 2 of us, has some ability that be useful in helping the doc do his thing.
And again, this
Anybody?
is just to see how well it goes. I'm not, like if you
Okay.
get a 7, that doesn't mean that like the police come in or again. Or, no, don't worry. Like let's just see how it goes. Just check 2d6.
Okay.
Right. See, so like you got an 11, so it went really well. So you've got a
Wow.
major yeah, Weekend at Bernie's operation going on here with aliens, alien dogs. And
It looks practically alive.
Regular taxidermist.
now, when you go out into the streets of Startown Liberty, this place, probably there are groups of people that are probably doing the same thing you're doing right now. This place is crazy, and certainly people helping unconscious or wavering people around is part of what's going on. So you all start heading back now. When you get back toward the Starport administration, you run into a new problem, which is customs. That will not be so easily fooled by sewn-on heads and things.
What do the customs people want?
They probably don't want you transferring unconscious Vargar terrorists off, assuming that...
Sure.
What if they're just drunk crewmates that
Oh,
we're
you
bringing
could totally...
back to...
Yeah, you can attempt to do that, and... go ahead.
Is it totally weird if we just say, like, there's a bounty on these folks, we want to collect the bounty? I mean, I don't know, they might ask us to produce the evidence of there being a bounty, but would that be maybe a normal excuse for why you're transporting unconscious people onto your ship?
You could... I think all these things make sense as, like, passable excuses. I think it would be a simple check. Come down to a simple check to see how well it goes. But before we do that, I want to hear from Books. Man, poor Chi. He's been having trouble with this connection. But yeah, Books. What are your thoughts?
So we're at customs. What are my thoughts? I think we should either have some kind of diversion, or I think a diversion, or just saying that there's a bounty and we're trying to collect the bounty. The diversion idea, though, I guess would depend on how many customs agents are there.
No, yeah, so you're suggesting... I mean, it's like a thing where you go up and you talk to a customs person, and then there's a security person there, and you scan something, you put it through a scanner, and that's what they have. It's just like a starport.
If, as backup, if the claiming a bounty on these people is not successful, do we know how lawful this place is as far as their receptiveness to a bribe?
Sure. Yeah, you probably... So that's one thing you would know without needing to make a check or purchase information, is it's UPP. So you know that. Or I'm sorry, not UPP, UWP, and it's it's law level 4. So this place does have a reputation for things happening under the table. So yeah, okay, so we got some options here. We got just try to be upfront and be like, hey, we're like bounty hunters, and we're trying to deal with these Vargar terrorists, so that's one option. Another option would be creating a distraction and then trying to get through without using the security, like actually breaching the physical security of it with the bodies. And then another option would be bribing them. So I guess it comes down to, do you want to try to be like upfront and just tell them, yeah, we got a bunch of bodies, and the bribe can come after the fact, obviously. Or do you want to try to like come up with a scheme to cause a diversion and then get past security without passing through? Go ahead.
So this is going back a bit. When we were on Walston ages ago, and we actually thwarted this terrorist ambition, might this have been written about in local newspapers on that planet?
Yeah, the information
so-
should well have spread to here by now. It has been a good number of weeks since we did all of that.
I have a hand computer, and I'm just wondering if maybe I have some saved archive story that can recount who these people are and what we did to them. Even if it was just I read the local news about it on Walston, and I still have it on the saved drive on the computer.
Yeah, you could do Bellamy there and Marcello Bellamy and Marcello they are Rangers. They're Walston Rangers, and this fits under their purview. In fact,
Yeah.
We're books and
I thought it went south with you guys. Did it not? I thought the ship blew up and then
it went okay. We
went-
saved the day. There were a few.
Well, you're all Walston Rangers then, except for the two new people, the Doc and the Major.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the easiest and best way is just to tell the truth. I mean, we are going to be passing that way eventually. And
I just want to make sure that we have something that can back it up, other than just our
Right.
word. If we say,
Sure, yeah, let's check.
Did they give us like big shiny like sheriffs?
We did talk
Yeah.
about
Star.
that. No, seriously, we did talk about like the privileges and the all this stuff. We talked about that back then. Yes, you are in the solar system of Walston. You are Rangers. You are
Excellent.
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's check the local news and see, local news archives and see if the news has reached here. I mean, it's the only Class A starport around, so I would imagine it must have. But yeah, and then I guess.
You check the news.
Marcello, I was gonna say Marcello
yeah,
can do like a deep dive and see like how put that computer skill to good use and see whether or not we can really cement, just as much as we can.
Okay.
but I don't know how deep I can get in this computer with only one hand.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I said there was like an internet and stuff. I've kind of rethought all that. If you read the tech levels in this, to me it sort of paints a different picture. A sort of, they didn't think information would go as fast as energy. That's my impression of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but nonetheless, that doesn't mean I think the news would be accessible, and it would be sort of, I don't know, it might actually be a paper or something like that. But something. So when you start searching through well, you said you do this, so this is Bellamy. So Bellamy, you start finding the local news near the starport. And you got all these people sitting in the terminal area before you go through customs with like the unconscious Varger, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to do this, and you find really shocking news. So you don't find anything about like, terrorist plot thwarted in Walston. No. Instead, you see, like in the geopolitics section, Walston loses imperial client state status.
Well, not what we were hoping to find.
Does that mean the terrorists won?
Yeah.
In a sense, yes.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't take over, but yeah. I mean, that's still basically.
Does it have any more details about that, or?
It mentions Dictator Masterton, who they get a quote from, and he sounds unhinged in the quote. The news article sort of paints the picture that the Imperiums may be better off without Walston, and that it's, that its ruling class has managed it poorly, and so he's kind of presented as if he's unhinged, and what he's quoted in, and it's presented as a kind of like both an economic risk and a security risk to the Imperium. Like, but especially that there's this economic kind of shortfall. The starport is not making money, and the starport is not. Yeah.
Big liability in space.
I'm going to, or Marcello's going to take his ranger badge and sort of like off his chest and put it back in his back pocket. It doesn't seem like a real plus right now.
Well, I mean, to be clear, you're still, an authority in that solar system, regardless of if it's an imperial world. So I didn't mean to propose that has,
and these
that's
guys
meaningless. Just that
these guys are not going to end up being imperial citizens, so I don't see the customs people here caring terribly much what happens to a bunch of violent Vargar.
Yeah, I mean, actually, this is like the only imperial system in an entire ocean of just like backwater indie worlds. So this is pretty normal. And also of note, Ralston was not imperial; it was just a client state. It had the benefits of the starport and some things like that, but yeah.
Okay, well,
I was thinking, as another option, I don't know if the doctor knows very much about this, but aren't there some kind of substances some kind of substances or medicines or something like that you can inject a body with that would basically bring all signs of life to an extremely low level so that the person, for all intents and purposes, appears dead?
So
in which case we would just be transporting, dead Vargar bodies.
Right. So you're perhaps interested in drugs? Is that what you're... the entire chapter?
That's right.
Can I interest you in drugs?
I guess I need to brush up on my doctorness. Need to brush up on my drugs.
As a
The
simple
episode title.
So
drugs.
I gotta read about space drugs now.
Yeah, there's an entire chapter just drugs. That's a whole chapter. But so Doc Ocean, at a basic level, yeah, absolutely. You'll need a black market source to be able to get such a powerful pharmaceutical. They're usually expensive.
Just throwing it out there, Captain, Doc, everyone.
I don't really have access. I don't really have access to the black market. I'm kind of fresh out of the Rylon battle, so. Or has that been a while? Pardon me, has that been a while now?
Years.
Oh, 5 years, my bad. Yeah, okay. So, well, I'm still fresh off the boat as far as joining this crew. I don't have any contacts in the black market right now, I don't think, so. I'm going to say that's probably a no.
Doc is such a straight shooter.
Well, it sounds like
he did say
it would cost us.
I think I heard it yet.
It sounds like it would cost us time and money.
All right.
We just try to say that we're collecting bounties on these guys. I mean, what's customs going to say? Yeah.
Tell you what, Books, you get ready. If we give you the signal to do the distraction, if it doesn't go well, you be in the bathroom of the starport, ready to put a fire right underneath the sprinkler system.
Great idea. Great idea.
Take your pack of cigarettes and go in the lab and just get ready to ignite the sprinklers.
Perfect. Couldn't have planned this better.
I just love how classy this all is. It's just all.
Oh yeah.
Listen, we've got multiple contingencies here.
We're trying to get through customs, and if it doesn't go well, I'll look over to you at the bathroom.
In that order.
I'll be waiting till lighter.
Sounds like a fiasco game that you wanted to play.
Yeah,
Ross.
is it?
Yeah.
It is a fiasco.
It is, and it's fun when we treat it that way.
All right. So
Yeah, so let's do it then.
all right. So I pick Marcello then because he was you know, on Walston, and so you go up to the the customs person. He's wearing the typical bland jumpsuit with the Imperial Starburst on the shoulder, and he looks really bored. And he just he says hello, and he reaches for your documents and motions for you to scan your items.
Well, good afternoon, sir. I do have my documents here, and here you can scan them. I had another question for you.
He takes the
And,
documents.
Yeah, and you guys remind me what we're trying to do. We're trying to get
Well,
these Vargar.
I mean, if we're walking past you while you're talking to him, is he stopping us? Is he like saying, "Hey, hold up"? If he sees us just walking past, sort of like shouldering these these bodies.
Yeah, at first he's just motioning for you to come up and hand him documents and to put all your items on a scanner. So for now, he you don't know if he thinks they're drunk or what's going on, but
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. Here, documents should be in order.
okay. He looks at it. He looks at the you presumably have like a ship, like a manifest. It's like, oh, Lady of Mercia, docking pad, Tango 5. Okay. And then he's like, what are those passengers? They're all going to need their documents.
Captain? Hold on. I think you want to talk to our captain. Here.
I'll stroll over. I'll stroll over.
I should note, and you do have 3 NPCs. You've got Lothak, Velez, and Isabella. So
How strong is Lothak?
she's tough. She's very strong. That's kind of what
Right,
she
I'm
does.
gonna shoulder my burden onto Lothak and walk and stroll over.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, well, how's it going? I'll hand over my passport and everything, and
And he's like, all right. Oh, okay, Captain Bellamy. Be careful out there.
Yeah.
I've heard bad things, but what do you got? Passengers? What is this? What are these friends?
well, actually, these are bounties.
Bounties.
Yeah, kind of came on us a little bit by surprise, but that's how it goes.
I see. Do you have a license?
Well, we got these here, and I'll show him my my ranger badge. See,
Oh.
we spent some time over on Walston, helped them out with some problems. As you can, you can probably heard they're having a lot of problems over there.
Walston? Oh yeah, I think I heard that's like a world somewhere here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, these are a bunch of terrorists that basically tried to bring down the government there, and they fired at us over at the anyway. Big old kerfuffle, and we took care of it, subdued them, but yeah, they're coming back with us.
He looks, and this does kind of grind everything to a halt, but he's more like, oh no, this was just supposed to be like, this is like the end of his shift or something, and he does not appreciate the complication. But roll under your social, but with a
Oh, terrible!
like with a +4, because I think it's pretty good. But
Can I do the roll?
yes, I mean,
I'm gonna, okay, here's what's. I'm gonna start. Well, listen. The way I look at it, and that'll be Marcello's cue to save his captain from embarrassment.
nice. Oh wait, no, that's not nice. Or is it?
Well, if he had a
I
plus
rolled a
4,
9. If you had a +4 in that,
Yeah, what's your social?
my social's 8.
Oh, right.
My social's 8.
Yeah, great. Okay. Yeah, so they look at it and he kind of rubs his head and he's like, Okay, look, just fill out these customs forms. Treat them as agriculture. Just fill it out.
Perfect.
Livestock.
I'm gonna,
Fertilizer.
I mean, all we're doing is load
You're
them
the
in.
best customs officer I have encountered on a dozen worlds.
He's
Thank you.
Please, no, don't say that. Just don't say that.
Are there
I have to
cameras?
agree. He didn't even try to arrest me.
Are there cameras?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's under
Is
surveillance.
there like?
but-
I'm gonna see if I can slip him, and I'm gonna do this because I've got low social. I'm gonna see if I can slip him 500.
Oh.
I'm filling out some forms. I'm filling out the forms.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
you
like
paperclip
accidentally.
those to, like,
I mean,
in
you're getting
between the
through,
forms
though.
when you hand it back.
No,
Yeah,
no,
so
it's more of a because we're gonna be back. We're just dropping these bodies off. We gotta check for business.
okay.
and
Yeah, you slide him 500 with your documents, and he's. Oh, nice. Well, like I said, I've heard things can be bad out there lately, so be careful.
Thanks. Trying to. Promise.
And yeah, you get through customs with a bunch of unconscious Vargar. That at this point, presumably the doc is drugging or something to keep them asleep through all this.
I look over to Books at the bathroom and I'm like,
Books just like peeks out like now no no please Books no.
That's funny.
All right. Yeah, you all make it back onto the ship, and you are able to install them into low berth. At this point, Velez petitions to stay on the ship, but of course, Isabella will want to go with you if you intend to speak with her attorney contact. Okay. So you go back through customs, presumably through a different one. Although it does look kind of weird, but that's a tomorrow problem, maybe.
I will have picked up my rifle when we were back on the ship, just in case.
Yeah, you can put armor and weapons on if you want to, Marcello and Doc and everybody, if that's what you want to do.
Listen, everybody. Can we just make it SOP? If the law allows, wear your cloth.
Sounds good.
I mean, I know it's not. Listen, I know it's not fashion forward, but I'm trying to look out for your butts here. All right.
I'm good with
Yeah.
that.
I think I learned a lesson.
I hate it for you, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. Just trying to turn an honest deal. Get shot at.
I think we need to go to a better class of starport, frankly.
That's what I've been saying.
This is like the best one in the subsectors. What's funny?
There ain't a better one. We saw the better one. The better one.
Wow.
It really is the best one.
All the better ones are way off that way.
The best
All right,
starport in
all
the
right.
sector. That's the title. Best starport in the sector.
Yeah, you can see that on the sign, except some of the letters are burned out.
Like going out, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, you get back through customs, and Isabella, she tells you she's, her nerves are holding up after everything she's been through. This stuff is and she's come to trust you all after everything. She tells you, she says, well, the, my contact, I did look him up, and I have received word back from him. It seems like he is at the McClellan office, at the head office. That would be further in the where the corporate offices are in the starport. It would be past the tourist district. Now, out of character, you're currently right past customs, and as I've mentioned before, you've got that one bar, which I keep forgetting, but it's okay. You guys are barred from that bar anyway. You're not allowed in there, so it doesn't matter. And then all the administrative stuff is right there. Okay, so you've got like the Starport Authority, where you would file a flight plan and gain world information if you were navigating to another world, and all the different government offices, and you have the Scout Services Office, the IISS. So if you wanted to see that contact, this is the closest one.
We do need to stop in there to get paid.
All right. So
that's my submission.
Yeah, you all okay with that since it's close by?
I think so.
All right. So when you go into these offices, like I'd mentioned before, it's painfully sterile. And you have like, plain beige walls, fluorescent lighting, and then just a plain narrow row of doors with cheap, ready-made, temporary walls. And you get to the door, and it has like a thumbtack, like a printout, and it says Mr. Anders Kasari, Director ISS Flammarion, and District where are we at? District 268. And so yeah.
Well, now or never. So we're all going, right?
Yeah, I think that's best.
All right. So I'm just going to open the door.
You just open the door, and you see a man leaning over at a desk, and he just looks like he's trying to figure out the answer to a problem, and he just doesn't have the answer. And let's see here.
And we walked in.
And then he's got knee problems.
How many of us are covered in blood from our fight this morning?
He's like, and I think it was Marcello, right? You know him personally. You were on staff with him. Weren't you a lieutenant, I think? Marcello? It's Marcello, right? Was it not?
I wasn't a scout. I was in the Marines.
Yeah, no, I know.
For a term.
I think we decided, or no, I think it was...
Andres Casare was a former Marine before he went to Scout Services.
Yeah.
There's somebody in our party as well who knew him because they were in the Marines.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not playing...
Okay, maybe it was me.
Yeah, I think it was you. I think you were the one that had...
All right.
Were you a lieutenant? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't...
Lieutenant.
Well, anyways, I'm pretty sure that you were the one that was talking to him before from the last group. And
right.
And so he says, is that Marcello? Oh.
It's Marcello.
High and dry.
Anders. It's Anders.
High
and dry.
Yeah, come on in. Come on in. Take a seat.
Thank you. Do you mind? Do you mind if all of us pile in? I don't know if you have enough seats.
Yeah. I've got. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. And then like everybody starts piling in. There's like 3 seats. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you. And so some people are just kind of looming and standing around. And he's like,
yeah.
He slumps in his seat anyways. He doesn't care. He leaves. He's like, well, I'm sorry, I don't have anything to. Oh yes, the contract, Captain Bellamy, right? Yeah, well,
that's right.
You have something for me? I'm afraid I've got some bad news, but
Oh.
No, you'll get paid. You'll get paid. What do you got? What do you got for me?
I think we have Raleigh. We got Raleigh, and we've got
Walston, I think.
Did we get the bar?
We already kind of did Walston, because didn't we? No, I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, Raleigh, and I thought it was some other planet, and yeah, I don't remember which one it was. Yeah.
I guess Debar.
Debar or Astaltine?
No, I don't. You didn't do either of those. You attempted one of them and then got
Got
intercepted.
attacked by pirates. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Well,
then it's Raleigh and Walston, or just Raleigh.
Okay, we'll say it's both. Okay. And would-
I can pull the data cubes or whatever out of my satchel and just like lay it on top of his desk.
yeah. Okay.
If that's what he needs to
Yeah.
process.
You could say it's like these like big mechanical data processing units, like these things like that, and he takes like a big analog plug and he gets the information off of it. And well, this is good. This is good. Thank you. All right. Well, that's 20,000 credits. I'll get it forwarded to you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You said you had bad news, though.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I see you got some new crewmates. And it's Lady of Mercia, right?
That's the one.
That's right.
Well, I think
The one and only.
this, I'm afraid, is the end of our contract. At least as we knew it before.
Yeah.
Well, how do you mean? What's
Well,
changed?
You know, the last time you were here, I said I was working with private contractors like yourself. The Navy. We didn't have the ships, scout ships, or scouts. And so I was paying contracts out for crews if they would update world information, places they went to, brought it back. The funds got pulled. It doesn't make any sense to me because it was clear that, His Majesty's the Scout Service was investing in this district, District 268, and in the marches, and it looked like they were really gonna try to, I don't know, develop things out here, but something started to kind of change, and funding started to roll out. The naval base, they don't have ships mothballed there. They don't have repairs coming in. Major overhauls are being done at other shipyards. A lot of ships are just on through flight. They come into the naval base, they get resupplied and refueled, and they keep moving on to another sector. It's like they're divesting from the district for some reason.
Smells of politics to me. Has that stink to it.
Oh, I don't know, but look, Marcello, my wife left me. I don't have any family out here. I'm just out here on the
I
edge.
pat his shoulder.
Yeah, he's not tearing up. He's got no tears left to cry, but if he could, he would. And you're just patting him, and he's like, so I thought I would try to be a part of this, turn things around here, but I don't know. I feel like I'm being set up to fall. I don't have the ships. I can't update the world information. I can't provide information to my high office in Deneb. To His Grace's office there, and well, here's the thing. I can't exactly pay you again the way I did before, but I'd be willing to work with you on a more what would you call it? An ad hoc
Official.
basis. Just if you'd like to stay friends, as it were. I can't always guarantee the same kinds of rewards, but could be more, could be less. But I need to find out what's going on.
Coleman would basically raise is, does the recent news about Walston losing its client status have something to do with this sort of shifting of resources away from Flammarion?
Oh, well, I would say that you have it backwards. What's your name? And then you all introduce your crew. Okay. Yeah. So, Coleman, I would say the reverse is true. And actually, Walston is a victim of what's happening across the subsector. And, you know, these small little starports on these worlds, they'll turn into nothing. In time, these worlds will start turning to infighting, fight over the scraps of what's left over with the Imperium left, and then they'll devour each other and they'll start to out of character, I can't think of the word for it. I read it in Space Viking. What do you call it when the tech level goes down? Decivilize. They'll start to decivilize. And that'll be it for District 268. And Deneb won't have any reason to invest in this place anymore.
Well, you got any of those ad hoc jobs you were talking about?
Yeah. But I gotta warn you, you just have my word. I can't give you anything else about the reward. But the reward, it'll be at least what you were getting before, sometimes more. But the form it takes might be different. Whether it's material, contacts, opportunities, access to services or facilities, or cash. But I'll get you something. I need to know what's going on.
What's going on where?
It's not about the worlds. I need to know what's going on with the people that are moving and changing things around here. And let's see.
There's some terrorists you can interrogate if you want.
Say what
Yeah.
now?
We've got some terrorists.
What do
I
you
don't know.
What do you mean you have some terrorists? Is this
They were just
related to
having
what
in the
happened on
back.
Walston?
In the
I
fridge.
It
heard
is,
about what
actually.
happened on Walston. It is.
Yeah.
Well, tell me. And then, I mean, do you hide
I
anything?
I
Yeah,
blurt
go
the
ahead.
whole thing.
Okay, yeah, you tell him about what happened on. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, we trust this guy.
Yeah. If we don't trust this guy, I mean, what else? He's all we've got, and
He's
that's not
offered
a lot.
paying jobs.
Well, he has.
The dog
An old
hog
guy in
sticks.
office.
It's a euphemism. The members of that terrorist cell, it's a corruption of Anglic, like hot dog, because they're taking that on with pride. That people call them dogs and make fun of them. Humans do, and well, anyways, they're part of a larger organization the Imperium's been tracking for a long time called the Society of Equals. And it has to do with, in the Vargar, far to Corward, Vargar worlds.
Vargar Expanse. Yeah.
Yeah, the extents,
Extent.
it has to do with a change in power there and how they see things, but it also it's part of how Vargar see hierarchy. He's sitting here, he's just like talking to you about this stuff, and Lothak is like right there, and like Lothak's listening to this stuff too, and he's like, so as I understand it, their main goal here in District 268 is to overthrow human rule, especially in worlds like Walston, which is a majority Vargar world, but also in starports, where there might be a Vargar minority. And
Doesn't that put this place at risk? I've seen a whole bunch of Vargar shipping companies operating.
it sure does. That's my first job for you. And if you can figure this out for me, I'll make sure you get some kind of equivalent pay. But there's this new outfit. It's called the Gefurkanak or something like that. And I need to know the relationship between the Gefurkanak and the Doxaksa. Between these hot dogs and the Gefurkanak. I need to know.
Well, we'll find out what we can, right? I mean, I suppose we're probably better placed. Well, actually, no. I don't know if we're better placed. We might be the worst placed, but at least we know these guys.
And of course, anything else
And
you
we-
find out, I can maybe, provide some bonuses.
You don't happen to know if there's an Imperial bounty on them, do you?
Not yet. That's one of the downsides to the divestment from District 268. Go ahead.
And an out of character question, just my knowledge of galactic geopolitics. I know we're in the third Imperium. I don't know where in that life cycle that we fall. Is the Imperium generally on the decline, or is this just a one-off sort of thing in this local region?
That's a great question, and I'll try to give a succinct answer. And this is an answer both I am to you, right? Like this is my Traveler universe, right? And then it's a bit of my speculation of how I think your characters probably. It's more important, right? Like from their point of view, because if you're near the Imperial throne or a noble family, you probably have a different perspective than you all do, right? I think from your point of view, probably the way the Imperium looks, for one thing, it's important to reiterate that the Imperium is so pervasive and so wide that it's not exactly how we would think of as like a nation. It's more of like and it's almost like saying, how's the world economy doing? Like it's almost like this like really pervasive and vague, nebulous thing in that way. And then the other thing is, I think from your point of view, it definitely looks like the Imperium is so large that it doesn't almost matter if the Imperium falls. It just matters if it withdraws its tendrils from where you are. Like if it just suddenly disappears, then all of a sudden the economy where you are collapses. And there's no trade, there's no starports, and so I don't know if that maybe doesn't answer the question, but I'd say a lot of people's attitudes around here are like, who even cares? Who cares about
Bellamy's seen 2 frontier wars. I fought in one because we established just
okay,
of my
that's fair.
age,
That's a good point.
and all of us are veterans of the third frontier war, or is it the fifth?
On the other hand, probably it's worth saying another feeling is that the Imperium is like in your blood. Like it's like, the idea that the Imperium could just like fall or something is, you might as well say humanity has fallen. Like it's something so grandiose that, yeah.
But we would also know that the Imperium has never had more than a tenuous grip on this particular area. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's got these pockets, and then it's got this place is just.
There was a time long ago when this place was established. It was kind of like a golden age for it, and then since then it's just been in a decline. Yeah, and
that probably would have been like before our lifetimes.
Yeah. Like 300 years ago. Oh, well, anyways,
Yeah.
books. I mean, you guys give me some stuff. What do you want to ask the guy?
Hmm. Any. So, do you have any? I know you said that you don't really have any work that could pay, but do you have any more ideas on where we may find some work? Anything else?
I don't know. It's not hard for a free trader to find work. It's really a matter of who you want to work for. But I'll tell you this. I'm not taking this lying down, this whipsawing that I've been getting from the high office in Deneb. And I'm going to keep trying to get resources brought back here to Flammarion. And if you keep working for me, you might find more opportunities coming from the Imperium. Instead of whatever scrap jobs you might get out there on those classy starport worlds.
Okay. So basically we keep in touch with you, and an Imperium job or two may just come our way.
Like I said, I need information on this shipping line.
Right.
I would start by seeing if you could do some work for them. Get in close with them. Learn more. You got a Varga crew member, a Lothak. Maybe, I don't know. See if you can establish a liaison. Maybe, act like she's the captain and see if you can actually get a license.
I'm gonna pat Lothak on the top of the head and scratch.
How does? Yeah, I was gonna say, how does Lothak feel about all the suggestions?
So, I mean, Lothak, there's another Space Folk song that makes me think of Lothak. Lothak is not a traveler. So, and she doesn't know how to do any of this stuff. And she's never dealt with, this kind of like political intrigue or, none of this, or operating a starship. So I think there's kind of a continual innocence so far. I don't think she's quite rounded the corner yet where she's just like, I'm a traveler now.
She's just a lazy dog.
That's not fair.
Hey, you told us about life on Walston.
She was, yeah. Although she worked hard on Walston, if you recall. She was actually
Of course.
she had like 3 hats she wore there. Well, anyways. Go ahead.
It's a good idea, and we do need work one way or the other. So.
All right.
Yeah, it's a real shame that we were really counting on having a steady supply of work contracts coming from the Scout Service, but if we can't get in solid credits, I think we'd be open to these other forms of recompense or payment that you're talking about. But yeah,
No doubt.
I think we're good for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So he rises and shakes your hand, and that is the best you'll get as far as a contract from Andrews Kasari now.
Let's go see
I
the
can
lawyer.
see the 8 of us pouring out of this little office like clowns out of a clown car.
A red nose on.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah. So, are you gonna go to the attorney next? Is that the goal?
I think so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do we want to? What if the attorney has a job for us, and then you know what I mean? Like, dude, I guess we keep putting it off, but now we've got this whole, what is it, Ganikanak? Cracker
Dog
Jack.
and Knickerbocker. All right.
Lothak
Kafirkanat.
says it in
Copper tanker.
she says it in perfect Vargar. Says the whole word.
Right.
Perfect.
Bow wow,
Okay.
woof woof. Sure that.
So, how do you feel about pretending to be the captain, Lothak?
That sounds like fun.
It will be fun.
One of Bark
We're-
orders are at us for a while.
Well, just keep an eye on. Just keep an eye on how we do things. I mean, you've been doing that already.
You got it, Captain.
Apparently, all it takes to be the captain is to always ask about if somebody's going to pay you for something.
Hey, you know what? If that's all you do, you'll probably be pretty convincing.
Did I miss Anders? Like, did he give us a timeline as far as when we have to do this job by, or is this sort of an ongoing thing?
It's an ongoing thing, yeah, and as
Okay.
it evolves thing.
Okay.
Keep an ear to the ground.
So, lawyer first or Vargar Freight Company?
Lawyer.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
I hope this is brief.
Okay. Yeah, so you travel past the entertainment district and into the corporate offices. There was I think some of you were here before. There was like the fun zone, and you got into a
Yeah.
gun battle near the dumpsters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also where we picked up our cargo of bad beer,
Yeah.
bad nearly spoiled beer.
Yeah. The McClellan beer, in fact. The off-brand stuff. So anyways, you go to McClellan head office and Isabella takes the lead in this without asking. She says she asked to speak with Mr. Rakamundra, and you wait. You do a lot of waiting, and then Isabella disappears for a while, and then she comes back, and then you're asked to come back into an office, and you recognize this place. Two of you do, anyways. There is the man here who you recognize, Chapman and Books, and he's dressed very well, like he was before, in a suit, and he says, well, Mr. Chapman and Mr. Name's not. What's
Zeppelin.
I haven't looked at it in a long time. You're
Zeke Zeppelin. That's his actual name.
Zeke Zeppelin.
Zeke Zeppelin.
Zeke.
I didn't even believe you when you said it. Zeke Zeppelin. All right. So, Mr. Chapman and Mr. Zeppelin. It seems that our destiny has required our paths to cross again.
Right? Not today's drinking establishment fight we got into went off without any loose ends, I think. That's not what we're here about.
You misunderstand me.
Changed men.
Certainly. Men of high character and responsibility. Certainly.
That's right.
I've heard that you crew a starship now, and one of you is even the first mate, so that you're officers on a free trader. And
You've been keeping tabs on us?
well, my friend Isabella here has told me some things, but I have heard about some of your other exploits, as a matter of fact. And so presumably you introduce the crew to him. Okay.
Yeah, and then got an opening to say, "Here's our captain."
He shakes everybody's hands. And he says, "So, Isabella, please, any way at all, how can an old friend help you?" Isabella is completely candid, whether you wanted her to be or not. She explains, the whole situation, It's completely open. Describes how they migrated across the Spinward Marches to try to make it to Rowley on behalf of the Imperial Red Sun NGO, and they got there, found there was no work for them there, were captured by warlords, were rescued by you all, and then in the process, you all were framed as terrorists. So, and enemies of the state, and how that news is probably going to reach the rest of the Spinward Marches in a matter of weeks, at best. And he says, he takes this in. He says, "Well, that is very, very difficult. I can't imagine, Isabella. After all these years, I remember how you wanted to help people out here. I want to help people here also. I've sort of taken a different path. As you've seen, I work on the legal team for McClellan now, and he gets up and he changes. This structure is a higher tech level than you've seen, like in other places, on the start part. And he interfaces with some controls on the wall. And then he comes back and he sits down again and he says, I considered perhaps we ought to meet off-site, but I don't know. Maybe we can just discuss things here and now, here on Flammarion. And he brings out some information, some files. Are you all familiar with someone named Vanpar Landleth?
Doesn't ring a bell for me. How about you guys?
Is that the guy that was running business out of Squalia?
I see you didn't leave much of an impression on you.
At least not the name.
I guess that he offered you the possibility of some recompense, and then it never came to be, did it?
Are we talking about the same guy? That's the guy on Squalia, yeah?
The Vanpar Landleth that I have is on Squalia. Landleth Prospecting. Planet Squalia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we took a job that we didn't get paid for on the promise of jobs that we might get paid for later. I remember that guy. Didn't like him.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Oh, I kicked up a fuss.
Yes. Well, Mr. Landleth was not of an interest to my organization until recently. You see, he believed that McClellan was he had this delusion that McClellan was out to get him and to end independent trading in Squalia and take over the market out in the solar system in Squalia. And he was wrong until recently. But things have changed for us in Squalia, and I think if we can come to an arrangement that I would be willing to provide the ample legal resources and legal, to use a metaphor, firepower of my company. And I think they would agree to help you if you would help us with this matter, since you know him.
Well, it sounds like a good deal on first hearing. I think we probably ought to discuss it privately before we jump to any decision. I think you'd understand.
It's entirely up to you. I can promise you that our conversation here is private.
And so maybe you could just excuse us for a few minutes, and or maybe is there a room where we can just talk while we're here?
He gets up, rises from the table. Take as long as you need. Activates a control on the near the wall, and then closes the door and walks out.
Out of character question, were Andrew and I part of the merged group when you guys had that experience in Squalia? Okay, I thought so.
We did. Were you with us when we did? We didn't merge until we got all the way back, right? We were still in the scout
Yeah.
ship when we did that job.
That sounds right.
So, yeah. So basically, it's like it went down like I said. They wanted us to do a job against McClellan. McClellan had a secret research base. It was McClellan's research base, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Did you say anything just now, Ross?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go with yes. It was McClellan's research base. I'm the one with the best memory, I think, of that, but I don't. But that's not good.
And is it just a prospecting company?
Okay, so there's a whole political situation going on Squalia where they really don't like travelers because they see them as like agents of imperial or corporate domination by way of McClellan in particular, and I guess other corporations that are like them operating. And
Oh, we're about to go validate that exact fear. Gotcha.
exactly that. McClellan had a secret research base operating in the in Squalia. And we went out and stole a high-tech level AI from this base.
Oh yeah.
And delivered it back to this dude, and we had to do that job in order to I genuinely don't remember why we didn't get paid for it. It was because we were just
At the time, he didn't have the resources, and this basically put him in the position to act. And
right.
Initially, this was your destination. You were coming to Squalia because he was like, "All right, I have the thing I need. Come back to me, and I'm gonna get you a job."
Yeah. Yes. So Squalia has always been sort of a destination we should try to get to because of the promise of this patron. That's what it was. We rolled for a patron, and he was the one we got, and this was the thing that we had to do, and we did it. We did it. We didn't. Nope. I don't think nobody got killed. I think we successfully routed everybody using computer trickery. We opened doors and fooled a security system, and got everybody away from the airlock. Went in. Nobody even saw us that was there. Got the thing. Had weird conversations with it. During the trip back, and delivered it. So, which was probably really bad for McClellan. I'm guessing it's the kind of thing that they probably really didn't want to lose. And in any case, the AI was quite a sympathetic character that did not appreciate its treatment while it was on this McClellan facility. And gave its consent to be dropped off with this new group. So that's what I remember of the whole shebang. And the thing is, though, I don't know about you all, but I don't want to be stuck in the Bowman arm for the rest of our lives. So anything, and this terrorist threat, got to get it off our backs. Because if we don't, we're gonna be stuck here for the rest of our lives, or somewhere else, like the Sword Worlds, or I mean, where can we even go from here? So we got, to me, this is like an offer that's too good to say no to. And I don't have any particular good feelings for that guy on Squalia, even though I like the AI and everything. Marcello?
I'm with you. I don't want to get stuck in a backwater, frankly. There's got to be a better class of starport that we've been seeing. We can get there. I'd be happy to get.
Yeah, exactly. What do the rest of you think?
Did we forget to remind Anders about our exploits in saving the scout ship in the system, as sort of using that as a token to help get some of this heat from the Imperial entanglements we've got?
We did forget. We forgot to bring it up. I can't believe he doesn't know about it, though. He's the director of the Scout Service, and it happened in this star system.
I seem to recall those guys saying like they would put in a good word for us. I don't know if that's a thing we can depend on, or if we need to self-advocate a little bit more.
They got attacked by pirates. They got attacked by, so they will have definitely reported it and reported the conditions around it. Plus, there will be whatever report the Navy ships that actually showed up have to end up making. All that, unless they just have battles and don't make a record of them, which I can't believe. So it's, yeah, maybe we swing back on the way back and remind him.
Okay,
by the way,
tell you. Because I mean Coleman is also like, he's been drifting. What is that? Is that spinward?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been drifting spinward, and he's ready to go back the other way. And staying in the Bowman Arm is definitely not in his plans.
Books, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree.
What do you think, Doc?
I'm just a traveler trying to make my way home, and whichever can get me closest to my home is what I'm gonna aim for. And Ross, out of character, what is my home world? Did we ever decide that?
Well, I don't suppose so, but I can tell you. I wonder if I can just share Traveler map, or if that it'll probably like break Discord if I try to do that. So basically, it's pretty far away. You are like toward the Spinward, or to use Warhammer terms, the Galactic West. Literally the Wild West, about as far out as you can get before you reach.
Is secretly a Zodani. That's how he has all those skills.
Well, no, I'm just saying where you are now is like there's other things to the west, but then you get into this part of space called Foreven, is what I see it as, and it's like got these dead worlds sectors across, and like whole gaps where you can't even make it without a junk 2 or 3 ship. And so like this is kind of the end of the line. You've made it all the way out here. You are from several sectors trailing, or to use Warhammer terms, Galactic East, either Mora or Rylanor, probably from Rylanor.
Okay.
So you're like 50 light years away from home. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, I'm here to help y'all out however I can. If you need a stitch, I'm here for you. And I'm just traveling along to try to make my way back home. So whichever gets us closer to that goal is what I'm for. But I know it'll take multiple jumps and multiple jobs in order to get that accomplished. So I'm here to help however I can. But as far as what we do next, I'm with the captain. I say we take it easy and take it slow, and we don't rush into anything that would put us in the target sites of the Imperium. So
Chapman?
All right, let's make our Faustian bargain with this slammy lawyer guy. Whatever
I mean-
McClellan's legal team wants us to do, let's go do it.
I mean, he is your friend, Isabella. I suppose you can vouch for him.
I am
we-
afraid I cannot. He is
Oh.
he is a different man than the one I knew, and I didn't realize that he was. I think that he's a senior legal advisor for this for the domain of Deneb, this corporation.
Well, there are a lot of kinds of friends, and this can be a very useful one for us to
yeah,
have. So.
that sounds like a good friend to have.
Perhaps we don't have a different choice. I don't know. And anyways, she collapses into being pensive.
Well, at this point, nothing that we're talking about doing conflicts with what we were already talking about doing. So, and I'm still rankled from not getting paid that one time. So,
All right.
shall we call him back in?
Yeah, so he comes back in, and he says, I can offer the job proposal if you're interested in hearing it, but it's your decision, of course. However, I could be of help.
Yes, please.
Very well. Van Parlanleth. If you go to Squalia, I believe that he will attempt to try to embarrass my benefactors in a hopeless and expensive attempt to drive our interests from the Squalia solar system. I think the thing that he believes that he has is a misunderstanding. We have a subsidiary on Squalia. It specializes in the production of a special kind of beta drug, an antibiotic. It's extremely powerful. Could save a lot of lives. But the antibiotic is harvested from an animal on Squalia. And technically, to some, would violate the high laws of the Imperium. This is a misunderstanding, however. And either way, this subsidiary, known as Sea Harvester, or SUSAG, is a rogue company. And they are not operating the way we would prefer. So, here is what we offer. 175,000 credits, if you'll complete this job. And a contact in a place where you could find better work. Perhaps somewhere more away from District 268.
Hey, as long as it's not Spinward of 268, I'm good.
I can't guarantee if we'll be able to work out your legal concerns, but in the meantime, you'll be getting further away from them while we try to work on it. So, that'll at least delay your problems, and you'll be in a better position than you were when you started. We could confer in the future as far as what we find out. But we'll also represent you, and we will try to investigate what happened and try to protect you legally as well.
So, what's the job?
Take his job. Take Van Parlanleth's job. But you'll instead be working for us. Van Parlanleth will not know this, and we will provide you resources he won't. That'll make it easier for you to accomplish what he is asking you to do. He'll ask you to find evidence that incriminates Sea Harvester, Susag Incorporated, and by proxy, McClellan Industries. You'll do that. But we also want you to find out who's responsible. We want you to get to the bottom of it. At the end of your investigation, when you give us this information, instead of giving Van Parlanleth this information, you'll come back here. You'll give it to us, and you'll potentially save the system, the Ott Park, the government, help Squalia, help a rather powerful benefactor, and you might also help put a criminal behind bars. Mr. Lanleth, that is.
So what are we supposed to tell him? Or you want us to just skip town as soon as we get the info?
As soon as you have the information and you find out who's responsible, you can come back here. Now, we will provide you credentials.
Post him.
Yep. We'll make it look like you're actually potential purchasers of this antibiotic from a Kelstar LLC. You'll have a direct in as a buyer with Sea Harvester. It'll take you right to the head of operations that way.
Now, how are we going to have to actually buy some?
We'll provide you everything that you need.
Captain, when we take Van Parlanleth's job, we should negotiate for partial payment up front.
That would be wise, I think. He smirks.
Well, I think we can.
I see something of a kindred spirit in this lawyer, and it fills me with disgust.
You know what? I knew I made you first mate for a reason. Sounds like a deal.
Anybody? What does everybody else think? Anybody saying no?
I'm just curious as far as why they think this harvesting of the substance to make the antibiotic from this animal is against the Imperial High Law.
Do you ask him that?
Yeah.
The concern is that it would exterminate the species from the galaxy.
Is this a sentient species?
We don't think so.
And presumably
That's a
you're
reassuring answer.
I assume you're keeping an eye on population numbers.
The subsidiary believes they have it well in hand, and that's why I think this is also a misconception anyways, is I think this is not actually a problem anymore. But nonetheless, they have acted outside of the authority of their parent company, and we will prevent them from... We can't afford for them to violate Imperial law. So we will bring those responsible to justice.
Satisfied? I say to... Oh, gosh.
Isabella's stony quiet.
To Coleman.
It's a very nice payday.
And one that we've got to make ourselves. So. All right.
I'm on board with it.
I'm behind you all the way.
this is not sealed with a handshake. He provides you some documents to sign, and gathers some information, exchanges things back and forth to sign an internal contract, and you can see things resembling a what are they called, a thing where you're not allowed to talk about stuff.
Non-disclosure agreement.
NDA, yeah, like stuff like NDAs and stuff like that. So, yeah, and you return back to the streets of Startown Liberty. It's now late afternoon. What do you all want to do from here?
Do we have any more direct
Well-
business on this planet?
We were gonna go. There's two things. One, and they might be the same. They might be possibly connected. But we need to find an actual cargo if we can. Right now we've just got the two contracts. The two freight contracts, right?
Yeah, you've got a freight contract and then some low berth passengers.
What were we supposed to do with that cannon? Aren't we supposed to deliver that to somebody and...
No.
Oh, okay.
Pick one up.
We're supposed to go to Bowman to get a gun installed via a contact there through the Viking captain.
Okay.
So, but Bowman is on our way to Squalia.
Right.
So, but right now, you know, maybe we can go and check that Vargo shipping line and see if they've got any jobs going to Astaltine or beyond.
All right. Yeah, find where the... So, who are you thinking about going to? Sorry.
I turn to Lothak and ask her to say the word again.
Oh yeah, she says it.
Okay.
And then she offers as a kind of contraction of the whole thing, Kafurkanok. Kafurkanok.
Yeah, because we want to try to work on that. 'Cause we got like all the jobs in the world, all of us. All the jobs. We got about 4 or 5 jobs stacked on top of each other. Let's hope it works out. But for the sake of the scouts, the scout guy, we're gonna try to investigate this Varger shipping line.
All right. So, it doesn't have to be the captain, but somebody can try to ask around, see if they can get an in to find some. This would go over into the speculative trading game again. Does anybody want to give it a try? Why don't we do books? Books, you haven't done it, I don't think, have you?
What is it exactly?
So
What do you-
basically, you try to find an in to find cargo to move. So instead of it just being raw cargo at a flat rate, it's something like 1,000 credits per ton or 2,000 or whatever it is. Instead, you try to find cargo, in particular, see if you can get a working relationship going with this Varger shipping line, Kafurkanok.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So you can do two things with that. One is you can make the weekly patron roll to see how that goes. You got to roll a d6 and get a 5+. I like making all these player facing.
Okay.
There's no modifier.
No modifier. Okay, I'm going. Ooh.
No big
yeah.
deal. So you're not going to get some kind of special job from them. You'll have to come back here or go somewhere else weekly. You can only do that once per week or once per traveler week to try to find, so you ask around, spend some time out on the streets for the remainder of the day before evening, and you can't find, you can't find any inns with this company, but here. That being said, you can also make an attempt to all right. Yeah. You can also attempt, do you have admin or bribery or any kind of skill like that? Some kind of like people skill, street smart kind of thing?
I have tactics, but that's the only thing like that.
All right. Let's see if you can try to follow the money and see if you can find the movement of things in the market using that. So make a tactics roll, a skill check. You got to get an 8, but you got tactics 1.
Yes, tactics 1.
Yeah, so you got to get you need to get an 8, but this will be for something specific.
Bam.
Whoa! Okay. All right. You find that, and this is not illegal, which is probably the biggest boon, that you ask around for the rest of the day, and you find that Kefirkanok has been, they had contracts to move local goods, and then they got kicked out of the market, thanks to somebody. So, oh yeah, wait a second, they hate you. I forgot about that. Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, it's this lawyer coming back to.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
It's the one that we
I picked books,
specifically-
but like literally, Books and Chapman are like the most hated people in Kefirkanok, like in the entire company.
Do they know us like specifically? I mean,
yeah, they know you.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're pretty much infamous. You guys can maybe explain that later, but I forgot to mention. I forgot until right now. Like these two are literally like the worst to Kefirkanok specifically.
Wow.
I still blame you, Chapman.
Can we disguise
I
him
still
up?
blame me.
You can, or you could send Lothak or something, and then disguise him, or yeah, make Lothak seem like Lothak's in charge, but it's Chapman or something, or I mean, sorry, Books. You know, yeah, that's good. You could try to do that.
I like that idea.
Okay, all right. Lothak goes with you, and she's like, you know, tentatively, you know, trying to act like she's in charge, but then you have to keep kind of whispering things to her, and every once in a while she has to kind of clap you across the head to act like she's, you know, and you're under disguise. So you're going to attempt to not get found out. Let's see if we get in another street chase here. So I think this would be like you could do roll under your intelligence, but if you have anything, if you have anything that could be used for stealth or something, or disguise or something, you could use that.
I don't. I have a 12 in intelligence.
Nice.
But
wow,
I mean, as far
12 in intelligence. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Okay, it just works then. Yeah, you disguise yourself, and you're not Books currently. One of the most infamous people to this company. They basically like set them up as like at fault for like something that went wrong, and then they got thrown out of all their contracts on this at this starport. Okay. So, working through Lothak, you need to try to make a pitch to buy from them, and it's old firearms.
Old firearms.
Yeah, so you'll roll 2d6, and rubber skill, and if you don't have bribery or admin, it's just 2d6. Not great. Okay, so I don't know. You may not want to take this deal, but this is both, you know, trying to find something and to get an in with this company under a different name. Yeah, so 6 would be 6. 130% of its market value.
130%. All right. And would I have the captain and the rest of the crew with me right now?
I mean, you can hang on to this possible deal and go back to him and discuss it if you want.
Yeah, I would like to discuss the deal with the captain and the rest of the crew.
This is going to Asteltine, by the way, of course.
Well,
So I would.
it's a cargo, right? We would be trying to offload it wherever we could.
It's a speculative trade. It's a company that's wanting to move something at Jump 1, Flammarion to Asteltine. And it's, I didn't get this. Let me see here. It's...
I mean, if it's speculative trade...
3 tons of firearms. Old firearms. And it's at... The total cost would be 39,000 credits.
I recall Asteltine being, independent, maybe a little piratey. I don't know if there would be a good market there for firearms, but I also don't love the idea of becoming arms dealers.
I know what you mean, like that you can, no, we're just buying goods on the market. That's what you did with the beer, right? Like the beer was like just sitting there and you're like, we'll just buy the beer. And then you went and you found a buyer for the beer, right? And you, but in this case, this is a faction with a product and they need a ship. So yeah. But then when you get to the market, you're going to sell on behalf of this company. So
they're
But
going
we
to
would still take the risk of not getting a better deal. I mean, 'cause,
yeah. So you could get there, and then you could have a bay full of guns, and you could roll snake eyes, and you could get 40% of the value. And then you could choose at that point. You could say, all right, well, this deal that we were doing with Kverkanok, forget it. We're going to keep 30,000 credits and 3 tons worth of weapons in our hold, and we're just going to leave it because we're going to keep carrying it around until we can make a profit off of it. You can choose to do that if you want.
I hate paying 130% of the market value. That's not great to me.
Especially for old guns,
But if we're supposed to get an in with this company, whatever.
Is it a loss leader?
I guess we're gonna. I mean, what's the idea? Like, then are they gonna have another?
So it's a Vargar market going to a Vargar market, right? So that's one thing, So you're going to be shaking hands with Vargar, and then when you get to Asteltine the next session, that'll be who you'd be talking to. So
I have a suspicion that the most likely buyers in the Bowman Arm in a Vargar market for all of these secondhand guns is going to be that other group that we're being asked to investigate, that Vargar terrorist group.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of have to do it if we're going to actually do this job for the scout guy. So.
Yeah, this isn't the only place with Vargar though. You can hop around and find more pockets of Vargar, etc., but it's up, however you want to do it.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
I guess we'll take it. I mean, how much are we going to be in their network? Like after this cargo, is there going to be another one also for Kverkanok when we get to Asteltine?
You don't know, but that's the market it's going to. So,
Okay.
Or you could just not take it, and then you could go to Asteltine and try to find people there.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where we're going to be able to get a better sense for how Kverkanok works, but maybe we'll find out more on the other end.
All right. Okay, so you make the deal, 39,000 credits for 3 tons of old firearms. You can also, I don't have, let's see, looking for the cargo. Astaltine. Cargo, you got 1 major, 4 minor, 22 tons total. 4 low passengers. Do you want to take all those?
Oh, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, we already signed up for those.
So, heading out to Astaltine then? Or is there anything else you want to accomplish here?
Um,
What do you all think?
have we done all the looking for cargoes that we can?
Yeah. Yeah, that
Okay.
was the, yeah.
Can't think of another reason to stay.
All right.
A little vacation came to an end finally.
Yeah.
All right. Thomas, can you see this page?
Yes, I can.
Great. Okay. So you make it back through customs again. You have all your cargo loaded. You prepare for departure and takeoff and everything. And you're slipped free from the moorings of Startown Liberty. And let's see here.
Woohoo.
We start calculating.
Start calculating your flight plan while you're
Yep.
flying out right away. All right.
3 tons of firearms. Do you think we could grab any for ourselves out of any of that? Would it be missed?
Well, we paid for it.
Yeah,
That's true.
they're pistols, rifles, and shotguns, and they're like old, but they're serviceable. So any of those that you want, you could have. And anyways, you start departing the planet.
All right.
Good riddance.
Everybody stay on your toes. Oh, I like that place. Wasn't our favorite
I got
visit so
you
far.
didn't get shot. You
That's
didn't get
true.
shot.
That's true.
I mean,
I did get to
I've
behead
been
someone though.
I've been in prison there, and that's still like my favorite planet.
It's just, I mean,
Wow.
we can all agree and still agree that we need to get the heck out of the Bowman Arm.
My old boss works
Yes.
there. There are terrorists trying to kill me. I got thrown in prison. Some of my friends almost got killed, but it's my favorite.
Easy.
Miraculously, there are some ships that show up on radar, but they're on a vector away from you, either heading towards Flammarion to land at the high port, or the surface, but more likely the high port, or they're vectoring away from you entirely. All within that 150k ring as they show up. It's just passing traffic for the next few hours. About 5 hours later, you are a safe jump distance away from Flammarion with no problems. And
All right.
if you guys are gonna jump, I'm gonna make a few rolls here.
Shall we have our regular navigator do his thing?
Yeah, and then the first check as you initiate the jump is if the engineer could please make a drive check.
I think that's been Marcello in the past, hasn't it?
I think
Can't
that's
remember.
Marcello, yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll 2d10 or 2d6.
Yep. And in this case, you actually want to roll low. I know that's kind of confusing. I like these being player facing. That's not exactly how the book says to do it, but I just prefer it
That's
that way.
fine.
So anyways, yeah, the engines, they seem good. So you initiate the jump, and space pills away.
Someone has to make the navigation.
Yeah, I've been navigated, right? That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
but don't reveal it. Like roll.
okay.
Yeah, roll it in private, and don't tell me or any of us yet. Just hang on to it.
Use that gambling skill of yours if that's what it takes.
And yeah, so you enter jump space for approximately 168 hours. Is there anything that any of you want to do in that week?
Go ahead and knock off another 100 credits for Chapman to continue his education sessions. He's going to do 2 more. He's going to call for a crew mock trial as part of his legal studies that he's decided to get into.
It seems increasingly important.
I'm going to assume that we stripped the belongings off of these Vargar before we installed them in the low berths, in which case I want to take the time to look through all they had on them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. They are. They're unfortunately what you don't find. You don't find like enclosed like orders, right? Or like a target list, or you don't see like Captain Bellamy, number 3 high profile target, or high value target. You don't see that or something. But you do see that like there's like, and Lothak's able to help with this, but they have like operating procedures, and they have notes, and all the notes are operational in character. Like, how do they operate? And they are a splinter faction of this bigger faction, the Society of Equals. And within that splinter, they operate in a cell network. And every cell is led by an equal, which is definitely not equal when you, a human, read it. It's somebody who's a tough guy and who's able to, like, force his own will on each small group. And then what's interesting is these small groups will sometimes fight among one another as well. And they don't seem too bothered by that, but you can tell that from their operational notes.
Okay. I don't suppose there's anything. You say there's nothing like a hit list or or orders,
Right.
but
and I have one other detail that might be helpful. This is all operational stuff. How do like techniques and procedures. And the last thing is that they're specifically targeting people who like are discontent, which that maybe sounds obvious, but what I mean more specifically is, not just discontent with the Imperium, but people with like an independent or enterprising kind of spirit to them. That's who they're looking for to try to gain the sympathy of. And then there's also this really strong sense of like loyalty and betrayal in everything that they talk about. Like, anytime some kind of bond is made and that's broken, which happens with humans all the time, they're enemies. Which, as a human, you look at that and you're like, this is not going to work. But like, it seems like they'll develop a relationship with another unscrupulous entity, and then that other unscrupulous entity will not work well with them, and then they'll immediately go to war with that group that they were allied with. So, I don't know if that makes sense, but
and not only does it make sense, it sounds like a wonderful thing to keep in mind for the future. If we should run afoul of any one or more than one of these groups directly, which we already have. But if we know that's how they operate, that's a weakness.
to a human.
Is that what Lothak says?
Yes, actually. She'll be bold.
Okay. Well, thanks, Lothak. But the truth is, Hey, if we can turn a couple of factions against each other to get away from a situation, it may not be a weakness to them, but it'll help us.
Lothak says.
Apes together strong.
Lothak says, with Vargar, whoever is the strongest and the most charismatic is the one who's able to lead, and by doing so, it is that group that will succeed. This competition between these groups is exactly designed that way so that the most effective group can rise and take the most resources and then lead that group to victory. That's what they'll be trying to do. That's how those kingdoms work in the Vargar extents.
I feel like I'm talking to Space Vikings again.
Well, but the question is, are they able to hold off from this instinct when it's in the best interest of the larger group? Or are they just going to turn on each other when the time arrives?
She seems exasperated. You don't understand. That's not how they're not trying to maintain some sense of harmony, like what you're talking about, some sense of unity. This disunity that you think is a problem, they see as well. It's how Vargar society works in the extents.
Hey, I mean, that's fine with me. I don't have a problem with it. It's going to work. It works for them, and it might work for us. But
she shakes her head. She's like, she doesn't think you get it. All right. So anybody else want to do anything during the jump before you arrive into Asteltane? You've got a week on board.
You better be reciting your parts for the mock trial.
Wasn't I also studying as well as Chapman? I forgot what it was for, though, but I thought I know I was doing something.
So, because we were all looking into self-improvement, you, me, and Shipley were going to maybe do education because we had sufficient intelligence, I think, is how that works.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
You had to make... No, it was the other ones. Everyone else was trying the other self-improvement. You had to make a roll to see if you could do it. But our education, I think, is just the credit cost.
Yeah, you just have to pay.
Okay.
So part of my week, at least maybe like half of one day, will be spent with Bellamy toying with the idea of practicing the pistol, and then saying, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
I feel like long as I have been studying, hyper jumps, presumably so would books. And I've just been keeping track of my own end on every single session, but I've just been paying for myself, not for him.
All right. Right. So
I'm going to be working on my my computer skill improvement. I wrote down computer/gunnery. Do we get 2 that we can work on?
We failed our rolls, Marcello.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We can't do it.
We are locked out. We're locked out for a year.
Okay.
That's why I said Bellamy toys with the idea and ultimately decides not to.
Love it.
We failed
for a year.
Yeah, you're gonna just be like a dilettante.
My jumps are just being just
watching videos on the
wasting time.
Totally. Or in my case, healing.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah, I'm not going to be. I don't have my head in the books, so I'm all good.
All right, so approximately 168 hours passes, and let's reveal your navigation check. Let's see how well the navigator did. You want to roll low in this case.
I threw a 6.
All right, a 6. All right, so about an average roll. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm gonna make sure. All right, so average. So, and also need this. You arrive 30 million kilometers away from your target.
Not bad.
So it's about a day's journey. So, what do you do as soon as you drop out of jump space in the system?
Maneuver and auto evade are where loaded.
Okay. So that's the first thing
And-
is maneuver and auto evade. And then you have two other programs you can load, right? Because it's you have a computer 2 BIS.
Well, no, it's not a BIS.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's just a regular old computer too.
I think it's just two then. Sorry, unless I'm...
It's not a matter of the number of programs; it's how much space they take up. Versus how much storage it has, which is... And now I need to keep this page open.
Yeah, I mean you can store certain ones, and then you have ROM and RAM, right? I mean,
basically, yeah. But we, whatever it is, we certainly have enough for maneuver and auto evade.
Okay.
I'm just looking to make sure what the capacities are.
No problem. All right, so you got maneuver and auto evade. Let's do your check for the first day. Interesting. I'm pretty sure that is fine, so I think that is empty space. So you encounter nothing on your way to Asteltine. Pretty sure.
Hey.
I know, right?
What, no dramatic cliffhanger to end the session? Not like the station's on fire or anything?
Everything goes fine, yeah. And then you continue traveling for another day at thrust 1, and you get a 9 now. I'm pretty sure that is a check. Gosh.
This running sensors when you come into a system, is that require separate
Yeah,
software?
that's no, it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. And that's also part of our SOP. But
Okay,
I mean, somebody's on sensors anyway.
Well, actually, I guess I need to roll this as well. Okay. You get a message that starts coming through books. Somebody is trying to hail the ship.
Okay. So I would say hello. Can you hear me?
And they hail you and they say, "Ill, who are we speaking with?"
What is our ship's name again? The Lucia.
Lady of...
Well,
you say that on hot mic.
Who are they? First of all, yeah.
Who are you? Who am I?
First of all, who are they?
Wait, who?
The high and dry, that's it.
Yeah, the high and dry.
That's not it, but
Close enough.
close enough. Sure.
No.
Lady of Mercia.
Let's see.
Who are
here.
they?
Lady of Mercia. So yeah, I would say. So why don't you introduce yourselves? That's the polite thing to do.
Fair enough. We just wanted to make sure that you weren't, an Imperial vessel. Doesn't look like it from what we can tell, though.
Not today.
No offense
Yeah.
or anything, but we're scanning your ship.
What do you have? What do you have against Imperial vessels?
Got a lot against the Imperial vessels.
Okay.
This
I
is
think
the,
We won't pretend to be any today.
this is the sword of truth. And if you'd like, we'd like to come abeam and join you, have a chat with your crew, if you have time en route to Asteltine.
Give me a second. I'll get right back to you, and then I would consult with the captain and the rest of the crew.
Come a
Say-
beam. He means just fly next to us and chat by radio, or
He wants to connect some kind of
oh,
Board.
Aboard. Yeah, he wants to come aboard.
Do we know what type of vessel they're in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so after they reveal themselves, you can tell, I think this is Marcello. I think it is. Don't you do sensors, or is that Books? Books does comms. Anyways, it's a 400
Yeah, I
ton.
can't remember.
It's a 400 ton
It's the same
vessel,
thing.
and it is armed to the teeth. You can tell that it has all kinds of aftermarket additions to it. It's got a bunch of lasers and sandcasters and missile launchers and stuff like that.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, we should probably let him.
And that's where we'll end the
Okay.
session. Mythic Traveler is a Space Western Merchant Classic Traveler campaign in the Mythic Mountains RPG Play Club. The music's by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech and Greg Gibson with Timberzeel. Classic Traveler is one of the first tabletop role-playing games, and the first sprawling space simulator game ever created by Mark Miller and Games Designer Workshop. You can find the free facsimile rules of Classic Traveler by Far Future Enterprises in the description. Mythic Mountains RPG is an online play club that focuses on folk RPGs. Those are the RPGs that aren't run or controlled by some huge corporation, and they don't have some set way to play, and ain't nobody can tell you how you can play them. We play them, however, is the right way, and that's the way we want to do it. The table is the authority. We upload our games weekly on YouTube for everyone to enjoy and sit in without performances, fancy equipment, or monetization. It's just a group of people playing folk RPGs our way. You're welcome to join us, but until then, be safe out there between jumps.